गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू गनर शॉट। गनर शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। Our Prime Minister has gone on a historic visit to Japan, and that is to be followed by China. He's already in China. And the fact that he went to Japan before he went to China is of great strategic importance. And that part I have explained yesterday. And in fact, yesterday, day before, I covered the Japanese part of this trip. Today, we'll onwards for the next 2 days. I'm going to cover the Chinese part of the script, and we'll start it with this. We need to understand that China is not my friend just because I have problems with USA, and USA is not my enemy just because I'm trying to mend fences with China. And we need to evaluate it and have a look at it on a comparative manner, and then come to some idea as to where we are heading. And then, of course, we will see as to how to handle China and what are the outcomes. What will happen tomorrow? What will happen later in the day when a prime minister has a one-to-one with Xi Jinping? We'll cover that tomorrow morning. It's only then we'll get some ideas. It's not just that what he's spoken and we straight away start covering it. And but if we can, we'll do it. If I can, I'll do that also. But we need. And then, of course, we'll talk with other people. But let's get our fundamentals straight. China is not my enemy, or rather, China is not my friend, and USA is not my enemy. We have problems with both, and we need to find a way ahead with both. And that has to be based on India's national interest. Right, let's get going. Look, today morning at about 6 o'clock, I put this video out. Why is China all of a sudden very nice with us? Is it a trap they're putting us into? Or is it an opportunity for us? An opportunity for us and a trap by them. We shouldn't get caught. I had this wonderful short discussion with Mr. Sri Iyer. Put it out in the morning. And this video and its link is there in the description of today's video. I mean, what we are doing now. Have a look at it, both of them. Because that gives you one perspective. Today we're going to talk about different perspective. Slightly different. More focused towards USA. Why did I get this? Everyone knows today Trump's tariffs. Almost everyone in India is against USA. I agree with you. I'm also against USA as of today. But does that mean I run into China's hands? Or sit in his lap? क्या हम शी जिनपिंग के गोदी में जाके बैठ सकते हैं? नहीं. And if you do that, people will say गोदी मीडिया है भाई. ठीक है ना? So, गोदी मीडिया. I mean, right. What's the narrative? I just went through the headlines of newspapers in the media today. This is the narrative. Words which are strong, words matter. The way the communists look at it. Bonhoming, elephant and dragon tango, India-China normalcy. This is it. Let's have a look at it a little more. One guy says, anatomy of budding India-China bonhomie. They're looking at bonhomie between India and China. Well, we'll talk of what bonhomie we're going to get. Okay. Modi Z meet and India's road to normalcy with China. There's this fellow who's written even know what normalcy with China is. What is bonhomie with China? Can this bonhomie reshape Asia trade? All these buggers who are with this Al Jazeera, they're talking of things as if, ड्रैगन एलिफेंट टैंगो. भैया ये ड्रैगन तो है ही नहीं जिंदगी में. आपने देखा कोई ड्रैगन? एलिफेंट को देख लिया. Has anyone seen a dragon? So if China is a dragon, has anyone really seen what China is? Or you're seeing a visual projection of what China is? Will it change the Indo-Pacific balance? You think India and China are going to become on one side of the balance? Dragon elephant tango will benefit the both. If a dragon and a tango really exist and they do the tango, they'll only step on each other's feet or burn each other's ass. Again, elephant and dragon tango. All these fellows who are writing, they got their heads wired wrong. Why China, Russia should be worried about the China India China bonhomie? Why should USA be worried about this bonhomie? Where is the bonhomie? Again, bonhomie in this. From Cottonist to the 62 war, someone is retracing how China and India were bloody best friends. I mean, what narratives are we idiots? This is self-defeat of ourselves before the whole start. I don't find one article of this nature from the Chinese media. What is the trust quotient between us? Okay, from here on, I'm going to have a comparative thing. On the blue side is USA, red side is China. So let's see this. Something new. Let's quantify. When you quantify, you'll understand what the whole story is. Where's the trust? The trust factor is zero between both our nations or all three. We don't trust China, we don't trust USA. And China doesn't trust USA, China doesn't trust us also. And USA doesn't trust us. This triangle is no trust. Everything is about interest. But here we have to make a difference. Are the American trusts and Trump's, rather, are the American interests or the US interests and Trump's interests aligned today? I don't find that. There's a big difference between what Trump defines as US interests and what US interests are, as defined by the rest of USA. They're two different things. Look at these wars which we have fought. We've had consistently, China has fought with us. We've had problems. 62, 67, 84, 2017, 2020, 2022, Yangtze, where they tried to do what they did. And Sindoor, from Sindoor, we know we are no more fighting Pakistan. We are fighting China and Pakistan together. That's our enemy. It's not my friend. Yeah. How can you forget that? And that happened 3 months back. And where we have the chief minister, our prime minister saying, we will teach you a lesson. Any act of terror is an act of war. And then you put out a thing saying that, look, we bypass Chinese equipment. We put this out in the PIB. We all know that the Chinese people were there sitting in various headquarters. The ambassador was there on 10th May in the morning when he saw Pakistanis being blasted. How can he be our friend? How can you have bonhomie with him? How can you have tango with him? Let's look at the US. 1947, it was neutral. It didn't play a part. But 65, it assisted Pakistan. 71, it did affect Pakistan. Kargil, it helped us. Sindoor. So you know what happened? Oh, Pakistan became the Godi media of Trump. Then what? Look at their thing with Punjab and Khalistanis. All the Khalistanis went and settled where? In the Five Eyes nations. Canada, New Zealand, USA. And that guy Gurpatwan Singh Pannu, he operates from USA and he seems to be a US mole. They profess they are against terror, but they always help terror. Because they've been double poked. Let's not have doubts. But between the two, which is the bigger evil? What is the threat they pose to us? Let's look at the Chinese threat. The Chinese threat is physical. It's a collusive threat hereafter. They are illegally occupying Kashmir. They are illegally occupying parts of Arunachal Pradesh. They are and in the central sector across Mana Pass. Longju, Asafila. There's constant aggression across. It's illegal occupation. Maja. You get on a map, have a look at it. They are part of the Kashmir problem. They are not the solution to it. They are part and parcel of the Kashmir problem. They have promoted nationalism. They have promoted communism. They have promoted radicalism through Pakistan. And anyone who says no, you can't forget it. It's that communist ideology which has come from Mao, which is instilled, which still causes us problems. Look at USA, it's no physical threat to us. Forget it. There's just no physical threat from them. But they want regime control. They want a regime in India which they can control or is subservient to them. They were openly against us in 1971. Let's not have any doubts. They have put us through so many sanctions that itself is a great threat to you. Whether it's after the peaceful nuclear explosion in 1974, or the NPT, or the MTCR, or the sanctions after the nuclear test in 1998, or CATSA for S-400, which they said they will put, but they didn't put, but they did something in between, or the tariffs now of Trump. For reasons which suit their interests, they've always nurtured Pakistan, which is a state-sponsored, it is a state sponsor of terrorism. In their own words, they still side with Pakistan, which ensured their defeat in the Afghan war. And in Op Sindoor, they are supporting them. It's a threat to us. So, in terms of threat, where's the balance? I mean, I'm not going to sit on judgment. I'm going to give a holistic picture. Is one threat lesser than the other? Or is one threat greater than the other? It all depends on the time and the condition and the circumstance. Where are we with each other? With USA, you have a strategic partnership and trade links. It's gone. I mean, when I say it's gone, on ground, it's gone at this point of time. Maybe tomorrow it'll come back. Who knows? If Trump, by some mistake, he dies, his health is not great. I don't wish him death. I don't wish anyone death. But tomorrow, if he pops off or he's sidelined, which is possible, because the voices you're getting out of USA, you have to smell the tea leaves. Chai ban raha hai, pak raha hai wahan. And you might see a shift, and then you will have trade links, you will have a strategic partnership in some form. But can you have that with China? Can you have a strategic partnership with China? People say, "Yaar, tu pagal hai." You will have trade links which are adverse to you. Be rest assured. You'll see this happening. And they'll be weaponized against us. They've done it already with fertilizers. They've done it with tunnel boring machines. They already weaponized the trade links or whatever links they have by taking Chinese engineers back from our factories. So, is there a comparison between the two? This is a different devil, that's a different devil. What is the assistance we've got from both these countries? From China, it's a big zero. If someone says we got assistance from China, it's all about nationalism. They supported the Naga insurgency. But we've got some support from USA. Let's be honest to ourselves that we didn't get much, but we did get our entire revolution, green revolution technology came from USA. Norman Borlaug. We should be honest about it. There are people who say, "Oh, this chap is a US mouthpiece," or they say even worse. I'm not. I'm not interested in it. 1962, they did offer us air power. We chose not to use it. There's a 1, 2, 3 civil nuclear deal which they gave us. And that is why your nuclear today, if our prime minister can say, I want to increase nuclear energy power, it's because of this. And they did help us in Kargil war. Let's not have any doubts. Not physically, diplomatically. If Clinton had not intervened, the Pakistanis wouldn't have gone back so easily. Of course, they were getting beaten. There's no doubt. So it's there. There's assistance factor. What is the Pak angle? Both China and Pakistan have been 100% complicit in Pakistan. In whatever Pakistan does. Are they paying for it? They're paying for it. That's a different story. I'm not interested. Are we paying for it? Unfortunately, because of China and USA, we are paying for it. What has our relationship been between the two of us? With USA, it's been on and off. With China, it's only off and off. So where's the bonhomie here? What is this tango? You'll do tango with your enemy because you have a problem with your other character. What about the interference in internal affairs? I'm putting it in big things so that people understand these fundamentals. They've interfered, both of them have interfered in your regional affairs and your internal affairs. I'm not going to justify times they have done it. We know it. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Pakistan, Nagaland, Manipur, Red Corridor, Sterlite in Tamil Nadu. There's so many things. I can keep going on and on and on. They've exploited our democratic cracks. What about their society? What about the societal links, which is very important? Because we are all human beings. We know China is a closed communist society. We have zero diaspora. It is completely racist. Anyone who thinks China is not racist is a fool. They believe that they are the most superior religion or race. That's why they call themselves Middle Kingdom. And we fall for that Middle Kingdom trap. We are idiots. Already 4-foot Chinese, we treat him as God. There are people going to be giving adverse comments about this video who are completely Chinese. Of course, forget the Chinese. Chinese call me a dog. They call me a US dog. That's okay. But our own people. What about USA? Well, all said and done, whether you like it or not, It's an open and democratic society. Yeah, every society makes mistakes, and they made a huge mistake. The society has made a huge mistake for whatever reasons by choosing Trump. It's a monumental mistake. But the fact is, it has the largest Indian diaspora, and this diaspora is rising. It might not be for India, but it will not be against India. I also understand many people will be saying, where are these people? They're not talking. You know why they're not talking? Because all these fellows, they thought that Trump is the messiah for India. They backed on him, backed him. And then he's kicked everyone in his, where? Private parts. And they're still reeling from the pain there. And they can't talk. That's the fact. On the other hand, some idiots in this American society of Americans of Indian origin expect us to apologize to them. There's one lady with the name of Motwani, I think. And they're racist. Hey, there you experience racism. What are their interests? Almost similar. China wants to keep India down permanently, and they put it in writing as much, and then we'll look at it. What about US? You think US is any better? It wants to control India as a subjugal ally. We should be very clear about this also. What about the historic bungles? They've done. With USA, I put it at zero unless someone says, oh, you've done this historic bungle with USA. You're not done, and neither have done. They're done. Nothing very great, nothing very this thing. But with China, there is a whole issue. Why I'm saying this is, are we going to do another historic bungle later in the day? And this historic bungle might not seem so, but it will happen. We did a historic bungle in 62. I'm saying openly. We should have resolved the border when we could. What did China want at that time? Look at it very pragmatically. They wanted passage for a road. You could have given it to them. That slice, if you had given, probably the whole thing would have got resolved when Choinla came here. He wanted 56 line and all. You could have said, okay, you want 56 line, we'll deal with it. You want road, isn't it? Take it. We'll be friends. We'll give you free passage. Will not help. Will not this thing. If we could have gotten to whatever, history would have been completely different. But that was a bungle. We didn't do it. Why we didn't do it? We didn't have the capability of holding on to a territory which was never, that entire thing was a frontier. It was not a border. It was not a demarcated line between India and Tibet. It was a frontier. A frontier means somewhere there. Yeah. We could have come to a thing and end of story. And dealt only with Pakistan later. Well, we didn't do it. Fine. I'm not against that. Now that you're not done it, let's defend that. Or let's regain that. You not only lost that part of the road, you lost more. That is a huge bungle by any set of this thing. Today, you only talk of the LAC. You not talk of that your border. Isn't it a bungle? Then you did the great next bungle by recognizing Tibet as part of China. You recognized, isn't it? And what did they repay you with? After you recognized Tibet as part of China, they started claiming Arunachal Pradesh as South Tibet. Till then, there was no claim of Arunachal being South Tibet. This is historic. I mean, what I'm trying to tell you is nothing, against a government or against one government or the other. This is our history. This is how our governments have bungled it. This government also could get into a bungle. And someone like me tomorrow will say, oh yeah, that stupid man, he did this. Equally, China has done great bungles. Mao. I mean, just think for a moment. If Mao had not invaded India in 62 and said, look, okay, we have a problem with us, let's keep talking, and convinced each other, he wouldn't have had an enemy like India. He wouldn't have had to deal with this huge population called India as his permanent enemy. See that bungle which he has done. Everyone thinks China thinks long and all. All our bungling strategists think, oh, China thinks long. Yeah, they have a distant vision. Yeah, oh, all that nonsense. What bloody vision did Mao have when he invaded India in 1962? हम तो बेवकूफ थे. He brought on a powerful country, a civilizational country, as his enemy. Okay. If he had continued with Hindi Chini bye bye in a different manner, things would have been different. Of course, we also did a huge bungle. We could have settled this even then. After that, we would reorganize. After 65, this is my view. You could have resolved that issue because China was not in a great shape at that point of time. If you wanted to retake what you had to do, that's a different story. And then this idiot Xi Jinping, what did he do? In 2020, he repeated Mao's bungle. These are historic. And he's made now a modern India, a resurgent India into a historic enemy. And now he says, okay, let's become friends when he's weak. We need to again understand this story. I mean, this is what, when you talk of bonhomie and all that, these historic bungles, mostly with China, with whom you have a border. You don't have a border with USA. This is the American view. Today morning, a guy from America, he said, I don't normally write, but I couldn't help writing. He wrote a lot of things which I don't agree, or you can discuss. But this is something which it struck me. He says, I believe Trump has a limited shelf life as of now. Either his health or his bungling decisions will render him completely expendable. India should not take any drastic steps in the near future or burn any bridges. That I think is a lot of sense. We should not burn bridges. America is not my friend. Huh? It's not my enemy either. But we need bridges with America. And of course, he says inflation is going to hit the roof here in US by December. Maybe. I have no problem with it. Whether it hits or not, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't hit me here. That will enrage even the stupidest MAGA trailer park trash. Fine. They'll have an internal chaos. On that, I have no doubts. And I think he's right. That will change the situation between India and USA. I'm also optimistic. So if you look at it, at the end of all this, which I showed you tabular and, based on evidence, this is an evidential analysis. This is not based on my beliefs. This is not based on hearsay. We are talking of facts on ground. So there is a relationship with USA which is at this point of time in a bad state. It will turn around. Will it go back to what it was before Trump? That's out. Our partnership, I maintain. India-US relationship is no more strategic. It is no more a partnership. It is a relationship. How this relationship will be taken forward, we'll see. Now let's look at China. We need to understand this. And this is something, all this, if you don't keep in focus when we talk with Xi Jinping, I'm sure, given a prime minister's acuity of sense, timing, he'll, and I'm sure foreign ministers and everything will not. But who knows? Under a particular set of conditions at the time, what decision is taken. And knowing the way things have gone so far, India, China, without ground preparation, no decision is taken. They also don't believe us, we also don't believe us. It is not mistrust between India and China, it is strategic mistrust. But people have to understand it, and these idiot journalists who write such nonsense of bonhomie, tango, pango, this is it. These three are the fundamental issues. Occupation of Oxygen. This Medoc Dam, which on Brahmaputra, and Tawang. When you say Tawang, it's the South Tibet claim. These are major things. These are permanent. No matter what you deal with, what are the outcomes today or tomorrow, next 2 days with uh, China, these three things won't change. Will they change? Then how can be doing tango with him? You can only do bango. And then there is this issue. Your territory is being handed over by Pakistan to China in Shaksakam Valley. They're sitting in Daimar Basha and building a dam. Incidentally, that's in POK. That's our land. If those of you who don't know the history of this Daimar Basha dam, let me put it. Pakistan wanted to build a dam on Indus at Daimar Basha. They went to World Bank, this bank, that bank. Everyone said, look, this is an occupied territory or rather in contested territory. If you want to build a dam, go to India and get an NOC. We never gave that NOC. And Pakistan never got a loan. Till they started, China said, okay, we'll give you a loan. And they've given, whatever the deal with China is, I couldn't get a dam. But China completely disregarded the fact that they had to take an NOC from us. And then they built a CPC through that. There are two more dams, Jhelum, Nelam. And this complete CSC is going through territory which is ours. They've already violated a sovereignty. These are all issues of territorial integrity and sovereignty which has been violated by China. Will it be reversed? Just because Xi Jinping and Modi meet? If Mr. Modi does, I'm being very honest, something which is detrimental to India's interest, he should be taken to task. He's not above law or the interests of the nation. I'm sure he won't. But if he does, we need to discuss it and put it right. It's only the people of India who can take this decision. No Prime Minister of India, not even a President of India can take this decision on our behalf without taking our concerns into account. I have faith in them that they will do the right thing. But this is a fact. We've had to live with historic bungles because of the wrong decisions they took. People will say, oh, at that point of time, those are the circumstances. I know the circumstances. I can argue both ways. But the fact is, at the end, we are in an adverse situation. Just think if Tibet was not recognized. Where would you be? You're getting golden opportunities today. Let's get to that. Limpudara. Limpudara became a contested territory. Who? How many people heard about Limpudara? Around Lipu Lake Pass, Kali Nadi and all. We never heard of it till 2020. China instigated Nepal to claim Limpudara and put it in their map in the rupee. You think the Nepalese did it on their own without Chinese help? And they've created a problem and now they've left China. Nepal. Today, Nepal is running around saying, oh, Limpudara, today, they've both So China has ditched Nepal. I mean, we know China has a history of not even recognizing even one treaty or MOU they have signed on. So, what is the guarantee that they're going to do it today? Look, if you do some trade deal with them or any deal, it has to be 50-50. One flight that side, one flight from here. If you want to recognize one app here, we should also get one app open into China. People are saying already TikTok has opened, yeah, all that. I do hope it doesn't happen. If the government of India allows TikTok to function in India, it will be a huge strategic blunder. Then you should say, okay, I would like my apps to be function from there. Open, reopen, coup, and put it in China. Can you do that? Will they allow that? If they don't allow that, don't allow them here. Simple. Is my logic wrong? Why should my democracy be open to Chinese apps when Indian apps can't be opened in China? Is this litmus test? Is it feasible to be put in place? I would like that. Or equal. Doklam. We know that they're pressurizing Bhutan to give them Doklam so that they can sit in Siliguri corridor with Bangladesh. And we know what happened in 2017. These can't be forgotten. Every second day, third day, or every 2-3 months, NDTV, some TV will come and say, oh, they've expanded in Doklam. Or for that matter, Sakting. Something, they started claiming Sakting. Where is Sakting? Behind Tibet, but in Bhutan, bordering that area. And I have explained why Sakting. Sakting gives you an indirect approach. What they did in 62, the mirror image is feasible. Whatever their maneuver in 62, they came through Tulungla, they came down to Virang. Maybe one of these days, when I do my thing on the LAC, I'll explain this operation to people so that people understand what happened. The 62 operations, mota mota. The mirror opposite will happen if China tomorrow gets hold of Sakting. And Sakting is 150 kilometers deep into Bhutan. There's no history of China in Sakting. There's no history of any claim. But in 2020, they've claimed and they're maintaining it. And they're putting pressure. The new thing they've started, new narrative. You think we can ignore all that? I do hope someone of you gives it to anyone whom you know in the government, this video. Let them, our people must see this because I've quantified everything. I'm not talking out of, I'm quantifying the issues which confront India and China when we deal with these fellows. I agree, you have to do a trade deal. I'm sure some trade deal will come out. I agree we need some investment from China. We'll talk of that also. And then this, what about this? CMEC going from Myanmar, getting into Indian Ocean. What about Bangladesh? Their involvement there. What about Nepal? They want to build a road. They want to build a railway track. You allow them. If a railway track comes down from Kodari down to the Terai region, you will have Chinese soldiers sitting on your border in UP. They'll be sitting over Gangama or Heartland. They're already claiming Buddhism as their religion. They are already putting a lot of money in Kapilvastu in Nepal and building a huge thing to claim it as Chinese religion. Can you imagine this, fellows? And you're going to do a deal with them. Yeah, you do a deal with them, but be careful. But be careful. Right. These are some of the views which I have read out earlier. This is a view which a Chinese has said, for the sake of future of China and future generations, we must adhere to a long-term, continuous and unwavering policy framework to dismember India. This is his view. This is the Chinese view. It didn't come out long back. It came out just about last month. This is a long-term and arduous task, but we must stick to it and never give up halfway. We say, no, Chinese think long. This is their long thinking. Remember whom you're dealing with. For China, the China-India border dispute and Taiwan issue both involve national sovereignty, territorial integrity, and security, and are highly sensitive national interests. In any language, not an inch will be given. Remember, all this nonsense talk about border, yeah, all that when Bangi came here and said in revolves around this fundamental sentiment, they will not yield 1 inch. They came out with a long essay before Wangi came. They knew, but they have made their position clear. If India insists that the border issue is the central portion between India and China, they know it is, and they will never talk about it. Today at the SCO and this thing, they will not talk about this also. They will say, okay, we'll do trade, and they will, since we have appointed a committee, they will look into it. If we accept all this, that means you're played into their hands. This is the next third historic bungle on the way. That the border has been relegated to some committee which will achieve nothing. We should accept pain if it has to be. That's the point. The other thing, I've been talking of all these articles, and this article is just 4 days old. 4 days. China and India do not have the basis for win-win cooperation in many fields. There's no win-win. Win-win in Chinese vocabulary is win for China, lose-lose for others. It is difficult to establish political mutual trust. They don't believe us. Then there's this deep belief. The United States can strategically abandon India, but India has no way to turn to China strategically. India's current diplomatic strategy adjustment is only tactical. I can even say for sure that India is playing the relationship between China and India, playing with the United States to make the United States change its mind. See, these are all factual positions and of their analytical people there. I'm not my words. The relationship between China and India has always been difficult to be good. In the end, it is one mountain cannot tolerate two tigers. This tiger has gone and sit on the mountain. We have to dislodge this Chinese tiger from the mountain. The needs of the two sides conflict with each other. All this is 3-4 days old. China needs a consumer market for dumping goods. I'm not talking of trade. How this trade thinking is going on in China, which we will be inking some kind of a deal or agreeing to something today, tomorrow. China needs a consumer market for dumping goods. For example, a market like the United States, which can sell goods continuously. But India, due to colonial trauma, hates others to dump goods. And what they want is production lines and technology. They want to have manufacturing ability to comparable to that of China's national flag and drums. If we meet India's needs, export production lines and transfer technology to them. In the long run, we must teach the apprentices to starve their masters to death. So India is the apprentice, they are the master. If India is given anything, the master will starve to death. That's the thing which they're saying. If India develops, it should be China that will be ruined. The transfer of mobile phone assembly factories in recent years is an example. India has changed from a mobile phone importer to an exporter in just a few years, eating a lot of China's share. You are their long term threat. Please think what they understand, what they think. That's what I'm putting it across to people. Have a look at it and we'll talk. I'm going to be very open in the way I approach this problem. Yi Fuxian is sitting, he's a Chinese. He's sitting in the University of Wisconsin at Madison. What does he say? I think he sums up the whole thing very well. He says China, US, India relations. Very few write on this or talk. But this is interesting. China, USA, India relations. China is America's immediate rival, while India is the long term challenger. See what the Chinese are thinking. Fundamentally, this fellow is a Chinese. He's thinking like this, Chinese. That's the viewpoint in China. China's accession to WTO in 2001 fueled its manufacturing boom. A move now deeply regretted by US policymakers. India's challenge to the US extends beyond manufacturing. It extends beyond manufacturing to encompass services and cultural soft power. That's the threat you pose to USA. And that is why Trump and company are behaving the way he is, and that idiot Peter Navarro is barking. The US will not ally with India merely to counter China and thereby enhance India's strength. So let's be very clear. India will not, USA will not help us, whether we bend our relations and all beyond a point. China-India relations will neither be overly friendly due to geopolitical competition, nor deteriorate to the point of war. He is wrong. We have deteriorated to the point of war many times, but they'll never be friendly. You look at it in balance. What do you feel? You think China can be my friend? No. Can China be my enemy? It has been. And I go with what George Fernandez said. China is our number one enemy. You're dealing with the enemy. Can USA be our enemy? I don't think so. It's never. But can it be my friend? No. It's not my friend. Is it inimical to me? Yes, it is. Without being my enemy. So we are dealing with two entities who are not our friends. One is a clean enemy, the other is inimical. We are not in a great situation. It's not a choice one with the other. You are in a choice where you don't need both, and you need both. So you have to make different difficult choices. And that's what we're going to see. The issue when today is how difficult is that choice, and what is the choice you make, how difficult it is, and what is it you're going to pay. Not is what you're going to get. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to say what we're going to get, but I'm going to see what we're going to pay for whatever we get out of China. Because I don't trust them. Fine. This is all I've had to say. I have some time. We'll take some questions. If you like this video, do press the like button and subscribe to Gunner Shot. These days I find subscription going a little dealer. It became okay, but I request you more to subscribe. And of course, join as members. That has almost dried up. I find one odd member joining. Please, because you're going to help people. You're going to help people who can't study. That's the aim of the membership. And it's hardly anything. Okay. If I don't, I mean, I have a very simple theory. If you people don't help me, I will anyway pay them. I will anyway educate them. That's my commitment. I started doing this much before I started the YouTube channel. Okay. Right. I'm done for the day. Let's take some questions. Okay. Sai Autovision, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Venkatesh Ramaswamy. Thanks a lot for this compliment. I put it on your thing because you're the first time you're coming up on this. Yeah. Yeah, everything else is good about USA except its desire to control the world. Yeah, I agree with you. Arun says same goes to all neighbors of Bharat, no allies nearby. That's okay, but you still can have equations with our neighbors, better equations. Yeah, the only choice is Atmanirbhar Bharat. I agree with you. In international politics, there are no. Yeah, we right. Shilp, yeah, Shilpa says disagree. I don't know what you're disagreeing on, but I'll take it. This good. I have a thing. Tata's used to put out an advertisement long back. Dissent is the voice of progress. So I'm okay with it. Whatever you're disagreeing in. China's fertility is dead. What can they do about it in the long term? They would be out of steam. Yeah, that's gone. They can do very little about it. Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. Hmm. Never forget Palakkad Srinivas. Thanks a lot for becoming a YouTube member. So grateful. Okay. Okay. Let's get from the top. Early birds can't be ignored. Shruti Chandar, namaskar. What if puts pressure on EU to put tariffs on India? Oh, we'll do it. Don't worry. And EU is not interested in Trump's tariff. Look, they're all coming apart. The matter of another 1 month. That's it. Don't worry about it. Good morning. Yeah, Ladybird, thanks a lot. Aditya, Jai Hind, Arsenal, hello, thanks a lot. Be wary of, yeah, I agree with you. Pramod, should we put the border issue with China for the next 3 years and rest? No, I don't think so. If you do that, you're doing a major, major mistake. They have not put it out. Why should you put it out? Look at it this way. They are reiterating every moment before they do any talk that the border is not negotiable. You want to do that? That is playing into their hands. That's a bungle. Do you think Indian political class will have to go ever to a war and take back Aksai Chin, Gilgit Baltistan? The Indian political class cannot go for a war, nor should it go for a war. It should do a political process. In a political process, you'll get it. Are are we strong enough to do the political process? I don't think so. I don't think our political hierarchy has got that uh, innate internal belief that they can get these areas back politically. They don't have the gumption to start this political process. One of the reasons is we gave it up. One of the historic bungles, when we recognized Tibet to be part of China, we gave up a lot of our rights. Very salty this morning. Yeah, I am salty because the subject demands so. Sir is a true China hawk. I'm not a hawk, yeah. I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you facts. And when you go and trade and you do a discussion, look, you have to understand when you do negotiation with foreign entities, you need to have your facts first. You need to have your cards. What are our cards we have to play? You have to be clear about that. Yeah, Ashok, good morning. Thanks a lot. Okay. So your last discussion shows that golden period of China is over. Japan and India will lead. Thanks for your analysis. Yeah, there's no doubt. I have no doubt whether all of us as in India have this thinking is the issue. Yeah, USA is not our friend and China is not our enemy. Lofi, good morning. Okay. Uh, can we cannot trust the Anglo-Saxons or the Chinese? Then how do we grow? Japan and others would have to cut ties with America to use or Akash Dev. Your thought. Look, it's all about negotiation, adopting positions, being agile. We have clarity of internal clarity of thought. Things will happen. You give some, but take some. It's a give and take. We should be clear as to are we giving more to take less or are we giving less to take more? This is the trade. Al Jazeera is a liar media. I agree. What do you make of the fact that Trump is allowing export of high-end chips to China from NVIDIA in exchange for 15% revenue, plus US government also took up 10% in struggling Intel. We'll do this discussion some other day. Okay, I'm now today focusing on this because it needs a larger thinking. We need to have a candid conversation with China. I agree. USA was behind the killings of our nuclear and space scientists. There also I agree. Yeah, new guy. US better of two evils. US has been more of help otherwise. When do you see the relationship getting to even keel, even though it may never go to state before April 25, after Trump? After Trump, we'll get back to some even keel. That's how the way I look at it. Yeah, neither China nor USA can be a permanent friend. Yep. And as we become bigger, we'll have more enemies. Yeah, I agree with you. In my humble opinion, with US too, it will be off and on, be off and off too when India becomes big enough. But we have to wait. We have some time for that. Brown sepoys. Oh, very nice. I agree. China is my enemy, but neither is the USA. 1962, US did not any offer any help in 62. This the condition that you why you join USA and CENTO. Well, money they gave us. You have to go and read. If you go and read fully, they offered us air power, not with no conditions, but we didn't take it. Chinese are uninformed and misinformed about India like Koreans, and true TikTok was a major contributing factor. Maybe hard hitting today. We have to be true to ourselves. That's the point. India and China would always have competition. That's okay. In US, a propaganda going dirty India. Do you think our municipalities are failing? No, no. All that nonsense. That's all propaganda. Good morning, sir. Your views on Kashmir Princess blast, which would have taken out Chowan Lai, plus all our debacles had speeded up. Yeah, one of these days we'll go into that. Yeah. India and China have a confrontation. Is choice by China only? Yes. Nehru socialism held us back till 90s because of which China lapped on us. Yeah, we should not take any hasty step. Thanks a lot. India's approach is not like burning bridges between Atmanirbhar Bharat. Is Atmanirbhar Bharat is the need of India, a need of the hour. Yes, I agree with you. Indian media seems to have a short-term memory loss. Oh, they have a long-term memory loss. See, the problem with Indian media is you don't find media people with a long-term memory writing. Earlier we had good people in the media who could analyze situations. Today I don't see that, unfortunately. Yeah, Sino-India and Indo-US are only strategic alignment. India must take its own grouping, including Global South. Yep. Thanks a lot, Siddharth Vijayan, for joining in. Mm, yeah. Yeah. Anyone who questions your integrity is a fool. Thanks for your endorsement, right? Well, but then people have their views. I have no problem with that. Swapnil Aldar, the fact is for India to grow rapidly, good relations with China is required. We cannot boycott China because currently they hold supply chains. For the time being, we have to bide and have, yeah, I wouldn't say good relations. We don't need good relations with China. We need relationship. A working relationship is the better word. You can't have good relations with China because whatever relationship you have, they'll try to cut you. So you need to have a structured working relationship based on a healthy, dose of mistrust. The Snide Park trailer comment is rich coming from a migrant who led the world's biggest slums behind in India. Well, that's it. Yeah. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. And Siddharth is saying, I'm praying TikTok should not be unblocked. I hope so. Otherwise, there'll be a revolution in India. I hope so. Reciprocity is the watchword. Completely agree with you. Yeah. So your comments are based on facts. India cannot afford China's friendship. I completely agree with you. Or then it may be Galwan 2.0. I don't think we'll go there because China doesn't have the capability to embark on a military mission today. Let me be very upfront. We're not worried. I'm not worried militarily. What I'm worried about is our mandarins not realizing the fact that we are very strong. You don't realize you're strong, then you'll take a weak step. As simple as that. That's the bigger problem. Yeah, today's thumbnail is so apt. Thank you. I do hope my thumbnail gets thumbs up from all of you. Right. So, what is the best way to understand ideology and sinister designs of China, which it masquerades as friendship? How to develop Shatrubodh in our strategic calculus? Or we just talk like this and discuss and come out with facts and do analysis. And most of us must listen to logical analysis. It's not necessarily mine. There are many people who talk well, who analyze well, and I'll get them now. Alternative to Trump is very, very, very bad. I don't know. That's their headache. Let's see. It was chaotic at all friends, and US citizens want a relief from border and mass mess in Europe. Yeah. Mobo Menes, Namaste. I think the ideal is going to be a zero, big zero that sounds good. Our government is only playing lip service to maintain supportive relations with Russia. I hope so. If you're right, your thing is okay, I'm okay with it. China should open their market if they're serious, they will not. And of course, there's one, see this Chinese thinking. This fellows from PLA and all that. Indians breed like rabbits and gave them Bengal famine. You see, this is a thinking in China. So I'm selected via JAG entry. Yeah, congratulations. You're becoming an officer. All the best, Sam. And then will my performance in OTH and I matter? It will always matter. Yeah, when you come to OTH and I, let me know. I'll meet you. Maybe I'll come for a passing out parade too. Will I be allowed to choose infantry arm of choice in super block or mandatory? I'm not very clear. But I don't think that can happen. If you're a JAG entry, you'll stay in JAG. You have to get commissioned and ask for change of arm later on. PM says stable, predictable, and amicable. Can you be amicable with China? You can't. That's diplomacy. Okay, that's diplomacy. It can have a positive impact. All that is good talk. He has to talk after he's sitting there. China's fertility is dead. What can they do about it in the long term? Would be out of steam China before India. Look, they have to allow migration into their country, which they'll never allow. And so they're dying. How do I know that Chinese people are dying and that civilization is going down, inward implosion taking place and all? I didn't invent it. Yeah, Mao invented it. Bloody the chap Deng Xiaoping invented it. And Mao, I am learning this from Chinese people. I'm not, I've not been to China to produce or not produce people. Yeah, the only choice of India is Atmanirbhar Bharat. I agree, right? Completely. Good morning, sir. Very hard-hitting facts and a brilliant analysis. I hope our reps in China takes cognizance. I also hope so. That's why I put it out, right? These are facts. You can't run away from facts. Yeah, Sivaprakasam Har Har Mahadev. Udbhav. The USA is blackmailing countries, seizing agriculture, other sectors, and even reserve currency to do service. Yep, you're right. So once again, rocking with your point-wise explanation why India does not pose aggression in the Chinese border, moving towards China like China does. Is it just territory? No, here I'll differ with you. Over the past 2 years, our postures have changed along the LAC, which many don't know. We've done rebalancing. Today, 2020, China was thinking aggressively. Offense, no more. They've started thinking defensively. So we've changed. But can we think we have started thinking offensively? Can we start thinking only offensively? That's some time away. Please let know if there's a limit to contribute more to the education cost that you're driving. No, there's no limit. You can put it how much ever you want, you can give. There's no problem. But I don't want too much also. Let me also be, because I don't need that much at this point. Whatever you can contribute without straining yourself. Did you think Saudi hands in tariffs because Aramco chairman, biggest oil company of Saudi, who used to be, well, all these things will happen, Uday. But I don't think they have much choice. Yeah, thank you for your insights. Have a wonderful day. Thanks a lot, Michael. You too have a good day. China can never be trusted. I agree with you. What is your take on Bangladesh elections? Oh, well, they have to be held first. That's the problem. If they held, we'll see. Yeah, Parag Jagtap, what are the off-ramp steps US and Bharat need to take to normalize the ties in the trade war initiated by Trump? The first off-ramp step is that Trump and Mr. Modi have to speak somewhere. How that comes off, we don't know. Whether it's off channel, on channel, live, they have to meet somewhere and say shake hands. I don't think that will come. Why can't we go with Russia and Japan tech rather than China? We can. That's what I yesterday said. Japan, Russia doesn't give you technology. Let's also understand. Russia is not living, to give you technology. It doesn't give you technology. Okay, Russia doesn't give you technology. They'll give you weapons. They'll give you everything, but they'll not give you technology. So let's not dream. Yeah, you could get some technology from Japan, but that will also be minimal. Ultimately, you have to make your own technology. I want to ask: is GDP only a marker for growth? No, it's not. Growth, is not completely driven by GDP. Growth, development, and all are other indicators are there. Okay, China and us both have better per capita income standard. Per capita income is not high, Ane, for both China and India, right? But your PPP is high. PPP is very high because the cost of living in India is low. Look, fundamentally, when you look at how well your country is organized and all, you need to have better way of life for people. People have to get educated. People should have food. People should have shelter. People should have health. If these five, six basic requirements are met and there's no poverty, our country is okay. And to do all this, you need a good set of armed forces. These five, six, if you have, you're okay. GDP is not a criterion, the way I look at it. But when you're looking at 1.4 billion people, the GDP does get kicked in. But I agree with you, GDP is not the only criteria for growth or development. Is Trump a covert Z agent? No, you feel he's a Z agent, someone else feels he's a Putin agent. So we'll not leave it at that. Yeah, China can do a dirty deal with Trump. That is feasible. Namaskaram, is there any change of views regarding de-dollarization in the chain? No. You today don't have an alternate to the dollar. Please understand, UN can't be your alternate. No one trust. You see, any alternate has to have trust. That trust today is in the dollar. You don't have a choice. The other alternate to dollar can be euro, but euro has a problem of its own. It's not. It's weak. USA, Washington, DC, or friend? Well, you think so? I don't think so. Why does China claim Arunachal? I'll talk of it when I talk of the India-China border. Yeah. You are articulate and intelligent, great arguments, and hope the government would take some advice from you. They do, but this is new. Yeah. Good morning. Thanks a lot, Kameswar Rao, for joining in. Is a regime change operation being carried out by CA in Indonesia? We'll have to see. I have not focused on it. Chinese have a 100-year head start on Indians on immigration to America. After all, they built the railroad and they were exiled to Mexico. Yeah, important fact. In fact, the China-America connect is more deeper than India-US connect. You're right. Especially you go to all these West Coast in USA, there are a lot of Chinatowns. That influence is there. Many American political commentators are reporting on Trump rapidly decaying health. I hope so. Let's see. Yeah. Can we see the current Indo-China negotiations as time bargain to set up alternate supply chains in India's part? I hope that's the way we take it forward. That will be useful. It's a good viewpoint. Yeah, there are not enough channels in regional languages discussing geopolitical analysis. Look, I want to start with Telugu, but I can't do it on my own. I can do it. I've asked P Gurus Sri Iyer to do. He's a bit reluctant to start for whatever reason. I mean, he doesn't have the bandwidth at this point of time to start a Telugu channel. If there's anyone in Telugu, I can, I need someone. I don't have anyone in Telugu who can talk, and I can talk in Telugu well. I can talk in Tamil, but not that well. But if I start talking in Tamil, I'll pick it up. Hindi, I can. I'm reasonably okay. That's why I speak in Hindi channels. And Telugu, I can, but I don't know how to do it. I can't start one on my own. That's out. Yeah, what is going on in China's mind? There's a lot of difference in the way China does. Yeah, I've showed this whole story is about what's China's mind. No? Thanks a lot for giving me that honor of being the sanest voice on YouTube. Only the paranoid survive. Both are enemies. Yeah. SEO is the last manifestation of China's waning power. Yeah. Namaskar, sir. I'm your followers. You're a genius on China's. I'm not a genius. I just have worked hard. I worked hard on learning about China for the past 25 years. Yeah, China, all optics from China shows G2 is on the way. Let's see. Balanced analysis, in depth insights into our history. I'm going to dwell a little more when I talk of the India China border issues, LAC, all that. We'll talk of it. What are the possibilities to claim Kashgar as part of India? The possibilities are zilch, but we should start claiming. Ah, I'm a volunteer. If you want, I can assist. It's not assisting in Telugu, Prakriti. What I need is someone to, you know, anchor a show where I can respond in Telugu. Okay, that's the point. Like I'm doing a solo now, I can't do in Telugu. I'll run out of steam. So if there's someone who can take me through, who can come and anchor, I'm all for it. You can do a video on ethanol scam. I don't want to get involved with it because I don't have the bandwidth to get into it. I do have some idea about it, but I don't have the bandwidth to get into it. Yeah, right. So we are done for the day. Thanks a lot for all of you. I've answered most questions. Yeah, there's one. So amazing and happy to know about you on knowing Telugu. Your talks will positively influence, give knowledge to 100 million Telugu speakers. Yeah, let me speak. నాకు బాగా చాలా బాగా వచ్చు తెలుగులో మాట్లాడగలను అయితే నాకు నా బ్యాండ్ విడ్త్ డజంట్ అలౌ మీ సింపుల్ గా మాట్లాడడానికి నా ఓన్ ఐడియాస్ నేను పెట్టలేను సరిగ్గా తెలుగులో బట్ ఎవరన్నా ఉంటే యాంకర్ సరిగ్గా మాట్లాడగచ్చు సో యు నో ఓకే దట్స్ హౌ ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ ప్రూవింగ్ that I know Telugu. That's about all. But that's my mother tongue. Yeah. Okay, fine. Thanks a lot. So, any one of you who knows a Telugu anchor who's prepared to come and speak on Ghana Shot, I'm welcome. I'll take him on. Or I don't mind going into his channel. I don't mind opening it. Maybe once or twice in a week. I'm okay. Anyway, with this, thanks a lot. Evening, I'll not be on air because I have an official commitment at the Officers Training Academy where a few artillery officers are getting commissioned. I have to go and, meet them and talk to them and all that. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Till then, have a great day and enjoy yourselves. And also, see the earlier video which I mentioned about, which I did with Shriyaji. It's good. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Till tomorrow morning. Jai Hind to all of you.